morning, everyone. Welcome to another morning workout talk. Monday, April 22nd. Headed to the gym. This weekend, I was definitely weakened this weekend. Pun intended. Actually, no pun intended. I was weak because my little girl, she does, track, and you know how track meets are. If anyone has younger children, when you start inserting them inside activities or sporting events, we understand how that can take your time, but it's a sacrifice we make as parents. And, my weekend was pretty shot because we had to get up. We had to be at the venue, at the stadium at 6:45. So I left, and the venue is about 15 minutes away from where I currently stay. So had to leave the house at 6:30. But mind you, this is a Saturday. When you have your quote-unquote weekends, especially when you're off, your thought or mindset is that you're supposed to get more sleep or sleep in. I mean, technically I did sleep a little longer. However, I still had to get up around 5 something to get myself ready, and my wife was getting ready, and get my daughter ready, and just then spent most of the Saturday at the track meet. Came home Saturday, I was tired, and then I didn't watch the Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney fight. I didn't watch it. And if you don't know who those guys are, those are boxers. Ryan Garcia is a boxer, and Devin Haney is also a boxer as well. I wouldn't call myself a fanatic fan of boxing. I like boxing. I guess you can't call me a fan, because people throw the term casual around so much. You're a casual fan, so it's kind of like, what constitutes a casual fan and what constitutes a fan? I mean, I don't follow boxing to the point where I know every boxer, but I do know the main ones. I do have ones that I do like. I like Inoue, the Japanese boxer. I do like Ryan Garcia. I like Tank Davis. I like Boots Ennis. I like Teofimo Lopez. I like Benavidez. Those are the ones that I know off the top of my head. Frank Martin, I like that. Frank Martin and Tank Davis fight is going to be a good one. But anyway, I don't want to get off the subject and start talking about boxing here. But the reason why I was mentioning that is because on Saturday I was so tired, but I stayed up to listen to the fight, the live fight, play-by-play. Of course, I wasn't going to pay the pay-per-view cost to watch the fight. So I listened to Showbiz the Adult. Showbiz the Adult is a boxing channel that I love to listen to. And I use the word boxing channel very reluctantly, because even though he does majority talk boxing, if you ever go to his channel, he's just full of so much energy and entertainment that I oftentimes wonder how he does it. And I know it's when it becomes a job, you have to kind of put your emotions aside and do the job. Just like in our normal day lives, we have jobs we go to, and no matter what we're going through, we just still have to perform, because that's what quote unquote pays the bills. But he has a lot of energy. Showbiz the Adult, that's his YouTube channel, and he's wonderful. I'm just shocked that he doesn't have more subscribers, because the entertainment value of his channel is just so high. He has a sundry of ways that he can come at you. You don't even have to be a boxing fan. He's funny. His clips, his impersonations. It's really a show. It's not just a guy sitting there in front of a microphone talking boxing. He does so much. And and I listened to his play-by-play of the Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney fight, and I was fighting to stay up. Usually, I was actually fighting to stay up before the fight, but when the fight began, I was alert, especially after hearing Ryan Garcia knocking down Devin Haney in the first round. So that was pretty much my weekend. I actually listened in bed. My wife was knocked out. I had the volume very low listening to the fight. And of course, after the fight was over, I started looking on YouTube to look up the press conference, like the post-fight interview. And I listened to some more videos, which kept me up till about 1 something. It wasn't the smartest move on my part. I should have just taken my butt to sleep, but you know. And then of course Sunday, cooking, doing clothes, getting ready for the work week and all this stuff. So this weekend was just but still have to keep moving. Time does not wait for anyone. And even last night, I went to bed around 9:45ish, and I end up getting up. My son ends up like crying in the middle of the night. He's 3. He was thirsty. He's like, "Daddy!" I'm like, "Oh boy!" So I got up. He was thirsty. I had to get him some water. He drank that. But once he woke me up, which was around 2 something, I couldn't even go back to sleep. I just laid in bed. Because when you have to wake up like in an hour or two, it's hard to go back to sleep because you're not going to really enjoy it. So, I don't know about you. I'm just speaking for myself. Let me just speak for myself. Well, that's what was going through my head at the time. I was like, okay, I know I have to get up at 3:45. My alarm is set for 3:45. And it's like 2 something right now. It was like 2, I think at that time it was 2:20 when I got back in bed after giving my son his water. And once he interrupted my sleep, I was done. Just could never go back to sleep. Because my mind kept racing. I kept thinking about my day, what I had to do. And I actually got up before 3:45. It was like 3:42. I said, what the hell with it? What am I going to still lay in bed for 3 more minutes? Thinking, let me just shut off my alarm and just get my butt up. So that's what I ended up doing. Got up, got ready, and I'm in the car driving to the gym right now. And doing my normal Monday or morning workout talk videos that I normally do with you guys. See, that's what that's the beauty and the curse of life, I guess, the gift and the curse. Because in that vivid or somewhat vivid description that I just gave you about my weekend, it's sort of, it's not, I didn't lay it out in a positive way, not at all. But that's what makes life worthwhile, because you have moments like that when it's tough, your day's rough, maybe you don't get sleep, you don't feel well, mental fog, but you still have to perform. But it's days like that that allows us to appreciate the days that we can rest, or the days that we have that are good. So it goes back to that harmonious balance that I often talk about, that we shouldn't spend most of our lives trying to always eliminate the bad. And they come. We don't run to bad things. We don't invite them, but you don't even have to invite bad things in your life. As long as you are breathing, as long as you are alive, you will. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. You will go through tough times. And I'm not saying that what I went through this weekend was tough times, but I'm just using that narrative or the story that I just told you as a way to understand the ebbs and flows of life. Because what I went through this weekend wasn't like wasn't an emergency type situation. But I'm speaking for those who find themselves in those types of situations that are much more severe than what I went through. All right, I didn't go through anything. I just had a weekend where I didn't really rest as much as I wanted. And I'm big on health, and part of being healthy is having your body in a state where it can constantly regenerate itself and heal itself. And sleeping is the number one medicine. Sleeping and diet. My diet is great. It's just I have to do better with resting. You know, me, I don't require 8 hours of sleep. I don't. Everybody's body is different. I even heard some sleep specialists, people who have came on Joe Rogan's podcast, and they've talked about the requirements of sleep. Now, scientifically, studies do show that women require more sleep than men. You know, they require more sleep than men. But I've never been an 8 hour sleep kind of guy. I can't sleep that long. The most I can sleep is 7 hours. And I think 7 hours of sleep is ideal for me. 6.5 to 7 hours of good sound sleep. Even if I go to bed late, I don't sleep long. I like, I don't do that. I would love it. I would love to be able to take more naps, but I mean, that's impossible. People who complain about not being able to take naps are people who have a lot of time on their hands, because in the between going to work, and then having children, when can I nap? When they nap, I guess. That's assuming my kids do nap. My son, he doesn't mind napping. My daughter, my oldest daughter, she doesn't nap. The 9-year-old, she doesn't. The 5-year-old definitely doesn't nap. She's allergic to sleeping. She hates sleeping. It's a struggle just to get her in bed at night. It's like a Royal Rumble, man. But yeah. Wow, I feel good today. I'm the first one in the parking lot. I'm the first one here. I made it. Now this other person is pulling up. The person that's usually here first is pulling up. I beat you. Yeah. I'm here. It's 4:35. I got here pretty early. Usually I'm on the road at this time. Ooh, man. I don't even know how I'm going to get through my workout today, guys, to be honest with you. But I know I will. The body adapts. Mind over matter. I gotta push myself through it. I was laying in bed, I was thinking, had a lot of things going through my head, and I just started to think about my past, like my younger years, especially those years when I was in high school, not early high school, but like late high school, maybe my junior, senior year, and in my 20s and things like that. And I look back, I'm like, damn, I wish the things that I know now, I wish I knew it back then, because I would not, number one, I would not have played sports. This idea, every kid grows up thinking that they're going to become either an Olympian or become an NBA player. I mean, well, you don't know. I guess that's the problem. No one sat down. Like my dad, he transitioned when I was 15, so I didn't have anybody. And even if my dad was alive, who's to say he would know? But there was no one who sat me down to give me the reality of what I was doing. If someone spoke to me and said, hey, look, you're good in basketball, but there's a gazillion, a million, something amount of kids that are doing the same thing you're doing. Unless you are just freakishly tall and you're freakishly athletic, like you have to be one of one. You have a better chance of winning the lottery. Like if someone would have sat me down and just broke it down to me, and I know at a young age it would have been hard to hear that, it'll probably make me sad. But I think sometimes truth has a way of causing a bit of a sting inside our hearts, and it does hurt. It doesn't feel good, but I feel like if I heard that at a young age, I would be able to make adjustments and adapt. As bitter as it is to hear news like that at a young age, especially when you're young, you have dreams. At a young age, you have a limitless mind. You think that you can do and accomplish anything, and I would not have spent so much time playing basketball. I would have spent more time reading, like the way I am now. And I know some of you guys may say, well, you were younger, but that's not an excuse. That's why you have younger people who are more advanced than older people. I'm talking to my people in their late teens or in their early 20s. They know they're onto something. They are living a life of mature adults. When I say living a life, they have the mindset of of mature adults. And I think maturity has to begin with knowledge. And I didn't know any better. I would not be going to nightclubs like I used to do. It was freaking stupid in my 20s. I wasted so many years, man. I would have been studying, reading, getting informed, finding out, like, I don't know. A lot of people say I don't live with no regrets. Like, I guess it's good to tell yourself that, but in reality, if someone asked me and said, "Do you have any regrets?" Yeah, I do. I do have regrets. When I oftentimes I think back of when I was younger, I'm thinking, what the hell? Why did I spend that much time doing this and that? You know, like spending, and then after making so many dumb decisions, then turning to the Bible, turning to what this idea of God to help me, like all of that stuff that I did was nonsense. If I just took it upon myself to take control of my own life, I just didn't know. I just feel like there's some supernatural force out there that's gonna come and put you in the right path. Like, it just caused me to be very docile and very, non-assertive in a way. Um, but one thing that I've always done was work out. I've always like exercise. That's never been, even from the days, of course, playing sports, as you naturally exercising with practice and all that stuff. But when I got to college, I would go to what they call it, the rec center, the recreational center. I've always worked out. I've always prided myself on at least having a decent shape. I knew I wasn't the most attractive guy in the world, so the saying goes, ugly people stay in the gym, or the ugly men stay in the gym. Especially men who don't have anything to offer in terms of financial security to women, because women love men who have money. It makes a man more attractive when he's wealthy. And you don't necessarily have to be like super filthy rich, but if you just have your stuff together, women are attracted to that. Women aren't attracted to, oh yeah, I mean, of course they want you to be a handsome looking man. They don't want you to be like, they don't want you to look hideous. But what I'm saying, looks is not on the priority list for women. Looks is everything to us. Women, looks is not everything to them. It means something, but it's not everything. To men, looks is like almost 99% of it. And then we start to focus on her personality later after we've sized her up. But that's neither here nor there. I don't want to get off subject here, but yeah, man, I've always worked out, so that's something that I don't regret. I ran. Now my eating, I didn't know, like, the things I know now about nutrition. It wasn't that way then. I just thought I eat less. I just knew to stay away from fried foods. I knew that for sure. I didn't eat. I remember, I had a friend. I would go to his house, and his mom, they'll be frying chicken. You could smell the fried chicken. They would offer it to me. And even then, when these were my younger 20s. Maybe I was, what, maybe 22, 23, 21. I don't know, but I was younger. And the mom was like, "Oh, you want some chicken?" I'm like, "Oh, no, I'm okay." But even then, even at a younger age, my journey started before then, when I was reading books about foods that heal, foods that kill. But at a young age, I wasn't cooking in the kitchen. I didn't, I wasn't, I was too busy trying to be young and do what everybody else was doing, but I still had enough decency and sense to stay away from certain things, you know. But one of my horrible addictions in college, and I didn't know it at the time. I didn't know how horrible cereal was. I didn't know. I didn't know about reading ingredients. I just knew that I knew fried foods were bad, and eating out was bad. I knew that. Like eating out at McDonald's and eating out at fast food restaurants and fried food, I didn't do that. And drinking sodas, I did not do that, for sure. But I remember I would get this cereal called Honey Bunches of Oats. That was the name of the cereal. Oh my God, it was the one with the blue label. In my 20s, I would literally, listen to me, guys. You guys may be like, what the hell was this guy doing? I would go to school. I would eat an apple. All right, I would only eat an apple all day. Then when I got home from school, like around 3ish, I would have a box, but yeah, not the big one, but a box. I would literally eat the whole box. I would get a big bowl, and I would pour the whole cereal in there, and I would crush the cereal. I would crush it, make it really grainy, and I would put milk in it, and I would eat that. I would eat that. And I thought that I was doing good because I felt like, well, I'm not eating that much. Oh my God. But it's funny because I was younger, so I could get away with it. In terms of my physique, I still looked good. I mean, I didn't have a belly. I was still, if you saw me, you would look at me and say, okay, yeah, that guy works out. But in terms of my health, internally, I know I was doing damage to my insides, but I didn't know any better. I just thought as long as I work out and I'm not eating fried foods and eating McDonald's and Jack in the Box and Wendy's, as long as I'm not eating fast food and fried foods, I'm fine. That's what I thought then. It was ignorant of me, of course. But cereal is one of the worst foods you can eat. Worst foods you can eat. It's nothing but sugar. You're just eating sugar. That's what it was. Yeah. I did that for a long time. It wasn't, but it's funny how I have a very addictive personality. Once I like something, it's hard for me to get off of it. But actually, it's not that it's hard for me to get off of it. It's I'm passionate about it. But once I find out that something's wrong, I could quit cold turkey. Like it's not something that someone has to, okay, you have to gradually wean yourself off of this horrible diet. No. You tell me something's bad, I'm done. Cold turkey. Like like back then I loved cookies, I love pancakes. Like I just stopped eating them. Sodas, I stopped drinking sodas years ago. Once I find out like what it does to people, I'm done. Like that's how my mind works. That's why I love knowledge. I love learning because that's what drives my decisions. It's what dictates my actions. Once I know, I do better immediately. I don't wean me off of anything. You know, my dad was like that. He smoked cigarettes for years, but he was able to stop it like one day. Like he didn't have a plan. He didn't go through a process. He just stopped it. And we know how hard it is for cigarette smokers to stop. So yeah. So I stopped that, man. Like even now, like how when I became vegan, like do you know, like being Nigerian, people, if you know Nigerians, they eat a lot of meat. They eat a lot of meat, a lot of dough, fufu, goat meat, all that stuff. They do all of that stuff. You know how hard it, well actually I'm not even gonna say it was hard. I just gave it up. It wasn't that big of a deal. I'm like, okay, boom, it's done. Just stopped it. That's where my brain works. Once I make a decision, I'm done. Right? Like at the house, I'll make pancakes for my kids to eat, but I won't touch it. I won't eat it. I'm not saying pancakes not the best of foods. I mean, you have to eat it in moderation. I'm not saying like it's the worst of foods, but I'm so disciplined with my eating that I intentionally make it a effort not to put things in my body that I know are not good for me. All right? I try to stick with the most nutritionally dense foods no matter what. All right? My wife would make spaghetti for the kids. I'm just, okay, I won't even touch it. I eat my own foods. I have my own thing. Like I eat separate from my kids and my wife. Not that they eat horrible, but my diet is I'm so strict with my diet that it's different from their diet. apart from the fruits and vegetables that we all like, fruits, the apples, the watermelons, the oranges, cantaloupes, and all that stuff. Like, yeah, we all eat those. But in terms of certain solid foods, I don't. I won't touch it because I know I'm getting older. I'm in my 40s now, so I can't get away with what I got away with in my 20s. You know, the older you get, the more strict you have to become. But anyway, it's 25 minutes into this video. It's 4:48. Let me start getting my stuff ready. But thank you guys for giving me the attention and indulging me in this morning workout talk. Even though I don't get a lot of views for this stuff, but it's like I said, it's therapeutic to talk. I guess I'm talking to myself, or because there's no one in the car with me. But hopefully, by the time you get this video, it means that I wasn't talking to myself. Somebody was listening. So thank you guys for listening again, and I'll be back Wednesday for another morning workout talk. And look at my channel. I have a lecture on the gut microbiome. I believe it's a good lecture. It's my first one that I did. It was a little bit shaky with the technical issues that I had initially, but I'm trying to get better with that. I don't consider myself a YouTuber. I hate to use that term because I'll let you know when I'm a YouTuber. When I have the lights, the production, when I have all that stuff going, then I could officially call myself a YouTuber. But right now, I'm an amateur. You can tell. I don't have a good microphone. My camera stuff is shoddy. So, but I did give a lecture. You should check it out. I think it's very informative, and it lets you know that we have the power of life and death based upon the choices that we make in regards to what we put in our mouths. All right, guys. Have a great day. It's Monday, and I hope my workout is good. All right, I hope it's good because I'm not very energetic today. I feel I didn't get good sleep this weekend. All right, take care, guys. Thank you for listening. All right, bye.